Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the Design, Creativity and Technology channel. I'm going to be making some aluminium parts here today, and here's the part being revolved by my lovely wife in her beautiful hands. And there it is there, our first operation, or the bottom side as I call it. Now you probably don't know this, but Autodesk Fusion 360 has a program inside of it called AnyCAD, or it accesses it to, you can bring in any CAD model. This was actually a Autodesk Inventor file. And I brought it into Fusion and applied the CAM toolpaths to it here. And you can see these are basic, 2D, CAM operations such as, facing cycles, adaptives, and drilling and spot drilling and that sort of thing. You can see I had a little boring cycle in there to go down below that surface. And now I'm taking a few goes at this on this contour because it's quite a thick part. And I actually had to switch over to an old 12mm end mill that I had because I didn't have the flute length. Alright, and of course once that's finished, chase it up with a spot drill. So you can see the part in the vise here now, and the work holding here is provided by Orange Vices, and Eric makes a very high quality vise and I highly recommend it. Popping with that big 50mm shell mill that I've got on that little tiny BT30 arbor. Coming in with that, now this is a Sutton spot drill. Sutton is an Australian-made drill company. They make cutting tools, end mills, drill bits, that sort of thing. They're down the road. They've actually employed quite a few of my students over the time as apprentices. This is a 2.5 diameter drill bit, and we're coming in there now, and we're doing a deep drilling operation. I've snapped a few drill bits in aluminium before, and there was quite a bit of money in all this aluminium, so I only had one chance and I didn't want to stuff up. Right? So you can see the parts there. It's got 96 in wide, it's roughly close to 100mm, or close to 4 inches, that sort of thing. Here's our 2D adaptive coming in here now. I'm doing a both-way adaptive here. On the video you will pick up a little bit of noise because it is an old end mill. It's a little bit blunt, and I've had this end mill a long time. And it was probably one of the early ones that I used on the Skyfire back in the day. Of course, this is in my Syil X7. You can see the chips starting to build up here, and I'll open the door in a minute and give it a courtesy flush. And we're popping in now to clean up the contour of that semicircular pocket. Dropping over the side now, and these are going to do some roughing passes to that outside contour. You'll see I won't play the entire footage, I'll cut it just to get to it. You can see here, I think I'm dropping down 1 times diameter, maybe a little bit more, probably 12, 30mm. I believe it's a 12mm diameter cutter, so roughly around 1/2 inch. You can see the Syil's having no trouble ripping those chips off. Bear in mind it is only a 3 horsepower spindle. I've probably noticed on my video I've switched coolant, so I've actually switched over to Hengsterfer's coolant. A bit hard to say that, bit of a tongue twister, and that was courtesy of Live Tools up in New South Wales, and he said put me onto it, which was good. I was using a different coolant, and it was a little bit harder to see the machine in operation. Getting a very nice finish off that old tool, believe it or not, and it is a bit blunt. Hopping down with that TCIN coated spot drill from Sutton Tools and just cleaning up that chamfer, and the design cord, I think it was for a 1/2mm chamfer on the top there. The person who drew these actually had the chamfers modelled. I went into Fusion and rolled those chamfers back, and as you know, you can do direct model editing in Fusion, which makes things all so much easier. Okay, I've flipped that part now and buzzing off that top hat. You see I hit it with a big 12mm end mill first because I didn't want those little chips and take me half an hour to face it all off. 2D adaptive on top, popping back down again to do that bore, spot drilling, and then the deep drilling cycles again, and then that cleanup. Popped in over at the back here near that pocket and clean that up as well. Alrighty, let's jump on the machine, let's take a look at it. Now I'm doing, it's quite a big step over here. I think I was a little bit greedy and the machine did bog down when I first started doing this, and I had to manually override the feed rate to slow it down. That's quite a bit of chip load. I think that's nearly 90% or 100% step over. I'd have to go back into the cam and check it and have a look at it. And I just left 0.1 or 0.25 on, I think it was 0.1 on the top, and just buzzed down with my my old shell mill there just to clean that up. I try to turn. I usually leave the coolant on for this, but I turned it off for the filming. I was actually filming through the glass of the enclosure this time. I'm sort of getting a bit reluctant to stick my camera in there now. They're not waterproof cameras and they're very expensive. So we're doing a both-way adaptive here again, cleaning that up. Now, some people don't like an adaptive as a finishing strategy, and most definitely, and my good friend Kevin Allingson's probably listening to this, and he slapped it into me many years ago. He goes, never ever use a 2D adaptive on the wall for a finishing strategy. It's fine on the floor, but yeah, don't do it on the wall. So you'll see me pop back in here now, and I've picked up, of course, an open contour and just done that one clean-up pass on the wall. I tend to like the pattern that the 2D adaptive gives you on the floor, and I sort of prefer it over a pocket strategy. I'm coming in with that boring cycle again, and cleaning that up. Spot drilling to pick up those holes. And in reality, that was a bit of a fault on my part. I should have left that spot drill in and actually chamfered while I had it in the holder, in the spindle, and that would have eliminated one tool change and probably sped up this cycle a little bit quicker. And that's what I'm talking about there. So I should have done this operation when I had it in the spindle. It's just amazing when you sit here on film watching it, and you saw the cam applications, and it's just nearly, spot on for the money, isn't it? It's definitely reflecting what the cam's showing you. Alrighty, now this was a little bit of a mongrel of a part to machine, because I had to flip it 5 times to actually do it all. So it was, in actual fact, this part would have been better for a rotary axis, and unfortunately I don't have one on my Syil. And here we are again, and you can see there's high repetition of the same tool pass that I've used over and over and over. And to speed up your workflow here, I'm usually just copying and pasting the tool pass from one operation to the other operation, and of course editing those tool passes and picking up the new profiles, of course, to suit. And you can see here I'm sticking with deep drilling strategies. Now you may be wondering, am I marking the part in the vise? I've actually got a small strip of paper, believe it or not, between the part and the vice jaws, the hardened orange vice jaws as well, just to try and stop marring on the part. Alrighty, so now it's the end operation. There's quite a large bore there, and you can see I've come down with that, I believe it's a 12mm. If you look to the right hand side, the simulation, later on if you want to stop the video and zoom in, you can actually see what feeds and speeds I'm running and what size tool I'm running. I didn't put these in the video now. I'm trying to speed up my workflow with video. They just take so long to do. So you can see I'm coming down here and doing that bore. I selected the option to leave some meat on the walls, and then you'll see here the tool will stay down and then come back in and clean that up, and that's quite a heavy cut, and then it will do a finishing pass, okay, and then retract. Yeah, that was a little bit of a pucker factor there, but hey, clearance is clearance. Now this is only a pilot hole, so I'm popping back down there. I think from memory it was an 8mm drill bit. Of course, I did this a couple of weeks ago during lockdown. Well, we're currently still in lockdown, so in saying that, guys, I hope you're all well and safe and well and looking after your families. And here we are cleaning up the part. Now you'll hear the load change. That's because the part's already got some chamfer. So I probably should in reality done those chamfers as open contours and not as a closed contour, but you can hear that the tool didn't touch, so I knew I'd pretty much dialed it in. Okay, we flipped the part up the other end now, and I'll come in and bore that other side out. And you'll see, it's a bit hard to see, but I changed the work offset here to the centre of the part. In reality, I should have picked up the bore to make sure it was 100% accurate. I'm pretty confident that I'm pretty close with that. Popping down, doing that 2D boring socket. Once again, it was a copy and paste from the previous operation and a reselection of the toolpath geometry. You see I'm a little bit off with my coolant nozzle here. It's times like this that you want an adjustable coolant nozzle. Check out the ones Peter Betts made over in Canada. They're pretty sexy parts on his Syil. Okay, so I believe this was a 12mm drill bit that I'm coming down in here and doing some really deep drilling all the way down through that part. And you can actually see those chips getting pulled out of there every time it retracts. And of course the 2D chamfer just to clean up, I think it was a 0.5 chamfer from memory. Okay, and now you can see my big sausage fingers holding that, and you can, my wife's hands definitely look better, and no doubt I'll have some sort of comment from Mike from Blue Hands regarding that as well. Here's the finish. Now, I made a total of 3 parts, and they were different, the 3 of them were totally different. And there they are there. And look at this. Someone didn't do their work offset correctly. Alright guys, thanks for following along. See you on the next video.